We begin the Diamond. Aggie softball, number 17 in the latest Softball America poll. If I ever ran a poll, if I ever voted in a poll, if I see a team go play the number one team in the country on the road and you win a game and the other two are one-run games, I would never move them down. Hell, I'd consider moving them up. That's not a joke. And it's not because, oh, Lou, you're an Aggie softball fan. It wouldn't matter the color of the jerseys and the name of the mascot or whatever. But if you're 15 yourself and you play the number one team on the road, I'd say home neutral. It doesn't matter the where, really. But you get 2 one-run games and you take one, that makes you comparable. I know I wouldn't move you down. Now, I wouldn't move you up 5 slots from 15 to 10. And it wouldn't matter who the teams involved are. That's a hell of a statement. If you've been paying attention in the social media viral world, a lot of Longhorns and others are poking fun at Aggies that are pleased with the result of this past weekend in Austin. Now, I don't think you do pop champagne corks for the Aggies losing the series in Austin. I am pleased in the sense that I saw them play the number one team in the country and the defending national champs, and they were every bit as good. They went toe-to-toe. They played 3 games that the softball gods and the softball fates decided, i.e., they look like the number one team in the country themselves. You could not tell the difference between the two teams. That's pretty good. That is something to walk away with. That is nothing to shy away from and go, oh, we should not acknowledge that because we lost. I don't understand that mentality whatsoever, to be honest with you. No, you don't start handing out banners and trophies, but you can't deny what is obvious. If not for some mistake Saturday, you could have won the series. If you could have got just one pitcher out of, they threw 3, A&M did, to just have a good day, you could have won Friday. But the walk away from the weekend for Aggie softball is that you went into the house of a rival, the house of the number one team, and you were indistinguishable from the number one team. That's a pretty damn good weekend. To me, I don't know the universe you took it from. And I look at this A&M softball team, and you still have quite a chunk of season left. And if one pitcher steps up, they can go to the College World Series. That's where they're at right now. That's all they need. Not one pitcher has stepped up. Now and then, randomly, a pitcher can have a good day, but no pitcher has stepped up. And that's what will separate them from Oklahoma City is a pitcher. That's what I look at when I see the softball team. By committee won't get them there. Not at all, actually. They don't have that pitcher, the pitcher, and they don't have a committee that can get it done either. If one pitcher, and I mean one pitcher, steps up, yeah, I saw this. Yeah. So, no, I don't have it, but yeah, it's okay. Caleb Rappley, or as we call him, Caleb, and Rappley, we call them both actually, now that I think about it, wandered into the Charles Schwab studio, handed me, he loves baseball as much as any human being I've ever met in my life, okay? He's like going to a JV baseball game tonight, and I'm like, did you pay for it? Because at that point, I'd have kicked him out of the Charles Schwab studio. So, and he handed me a baseball note, and I'm like, okay, I will allow it. As Mills Lane used to say, I'll allow it. Thank you, Caleb Rappley. Do I have to use your last name when I address you? And why do I always do when I do? I don't know. Maybe it's because we have 2 Calebs here and it helps me fight through the confusion. Thank you. Back to Aggie softball. So, anyway, I back to the poll. I kind of maybe would have moved A&M up if I hadn't considered them in that light before. And for people that are having a problem with A&M softball people feeling good after the weekend or encouraged it from the weekend, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. Aggie baseball, we're going to stay on the diamond. Moved up to 20, D1. couple other polls, they just moved up a spot. The Missouri season, the Missouri weekend, Missouri sweep, much needed. Not just much needed. I'm going to throw this open. Call it our first question of the day. And you know, generally I have many, many questions. But the first question of the day, do you feel better? I know many, and I do mean many people, were feeling discouraged after the first two weekends. The odd part about that is I don't know of one person I spoke to that thought Aggie baseball was a top 10 team. And then they lost to two top 10 teams, but then felt discouraged at the end of losing to two top 10 teams, despite not thinking A&M baseball was a top 10 team, which is a struggle of logic for me. If you're not a top 10 team, why would you be disappointed if they lost to two top 10 teams? Yet, the OU series, they could have won all three and absolutely should have won that series. Georgia's just better. Take a look at the SEC. Consulted with Mitch Light yesterday. If you were here, you heard him too. And we're only 3 weekends in, but we're 3 into 10. We're 30% in. And it's kind of clearish. You notice I'm giving myself wiggle room, right? But Texas, Georgia, and most likely Mississippi State have made the earliest statements of being the best. Florida may have figured it out because they were a preseason top 10 potential, Omaha, who didn't play like it in the non-con, but may have, figured it out. And they would be their own tier. After that, there's a bunch of potential, but that's about it. So A&M is stuck in the middle, not with you, but in this chunk of teams in the SEC. Because there's only 3/4 that you can say bona fide, they're trouble. And that's Texas, Georgia, Mississippi State. And all the rest, Florida's the fourth where you go, if they figured it out, everybody's in trouble. But anyway, that's the weird thing. You knew A&M was not a top 10 team yet. People were quitting, frustrated. I heard some early rumbles of early's not the answer. Yet, they shouldn't have won the first two series. Very odd. Tonight, Aggie baseball back in action midweek. Sam Houston State, the Bearcats. Always love reading the game notes. This will be the 139th meeting all time. A&M 93, 43, and 2 all time. It always makes me, it makes sense. They're down the road, easy ride, just down the road, ties between the two programs usually. But again, at some point, if you're Sam, I guess you get paid for the midweek. So, but still, woof. You can hear the game tonight, 5:45 pregame, right here on the Zone, 1150 AM, 93.7 FM. You can listen online, radioagland.com. You can listen on the Zone app, and you can tell Alexa, play zone1150.com. They have a student-only promotion tonight. The first 300 students get a free hot dog voucher. So technically, in less than 60 seconds, the promotion will be over. Caleb, you're a student. How long do you think this outstanding promotion will last? Like, how long do you think? 300 hot dogs. How long do you think they'll take to give it away tonight?
Does it start when the gates open, I assume?
Of course.
Okay, well then, probably about 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay, it'll take that long.
5 to 10.
For 300 students to come in?
I think that's about right. Well, okay, it's a midweek game, which is always changes the math a little bit. If it was an SEC series, I would say 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
As long as the line takes.
But this will last 5 minutes.
Midweeks would be longer for sure, but still definitely definitely before the game starts.
I always marvel sometimes at the promotions, and I know I don't want to be mean, but 300 these hot dogs, probably cost like 50 cents or something, and you want to do a promotion that makes people go ooh ah, and 300 hot dogs seems a little light,
and a random number too.
They were doing the thing where they did like cowboy hats or something. And they did 500 on a night when there's going to be 5,500, 6,000 people, and they do 500 or whatever that number was. It's like, holy cow. I mean,
That one's decent, though. Like, compared to this, 300 hot dogs at Olsen Field is basically nothing.
Yeah, it sounds good, and then you see the number, and you're like, oh, so nobody's going to get it. Like,
right. Just the people that, are there an hour before the gates open.
Yeah, the people that
which is,
have the time to do nothing first.
That's fair,
right? Yeah, hey, who has an hour or whatever to be there? Because everyone else that
who has an
no
hour
chance.
who has an hour on a Tuesday,
it
is students only. Those are the people that have an hour on a Tuesday.
What if you have class? Now you're trying to force people to skip. Why is A&M encouraging students to skip class to get a free hot dog?
That's a great question.
You should not be encouraging your own students to skip.
That's definitely an ethical dilemma.
Yeah. Thank you. See, you understand this, don't you?
Absolutely.
When we return, Logan Lee will join me inside the Charles Schwab studio. We'll talk hoops. And, we're winding down. I don't want to let Logan go. We'll probably visit today, maybe another, but we'll start setting up the off season ahead for Bucky ball. This is the Louie Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. It is the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric. Tuesday on the Zone.
Your home for the Houston Astros is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. Tuesdays, and to be honest with you, not much longer, maybe another 3 or 4 months at most. Logan Lee, he played basketball at Texas A&M, and then he coached at A&M in Kentucky, and he joins us Tuesday during the Aggie basketball season, and it ended. But we're going to set up the offseason. There's other things going on right now, too. Logan Lee joins me inside the Charles Schwab studio. What's up, brother?
Oh, just mad at Duke, mad at Houston, mad at Iowa State.
First thing Logan was talking about is brackets, because Logan was on pace to win the TexAgs bracket pick'em contest challenge that they run.
Now I'm on pace to be second to last because I know Bronninger has the very last spot.
He's dead last?
He's dead last.
Not kind of last.
But I already have enough points that he can't do anything about it anyway. So I'm on pace to be second to last.
So Duke going down took you from like second place to second to last place, effectively. More or less.
Something like that.
What a shame.
Oh, no. It was Iowa State that really did it.
I know a lot of people that jumped on the Iowa State bandwagon. I mean, not bandwagon, just I had a hunch on Iowa State. And it works out. There's teams you take a flyer on that you think, and all the people that go on that one path, flames, ashes.
Man, I mean, I just wish Iowa would have won. Just kept going.
Why? Oh, because it would have hosed over so many other people.
Yeah.
Logan and I were comparing brackets. I have 3 out of 4. I had UConn, Arizona, Michigan.
Nope,
I took Arizona. Houston. I took Houston out of the South. And when Florida went down, I went, oh my gosh, I'm going to be Norman Einstein this year. Nope. I got 3 out of 4, and that's not bad, as Meatloaf once said.
I just need Arizona to win now. That's all I need.
You have them to win it all too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hate when I go chalky like that, but Arizona was the best team all year.
And so far they've been the best team
in the tournament.
Those freshmen are legit. This was a freshman class. Man, since when? I'd say since 2000? Since somewhere around there, since the Michigan Fab Five, somewhere around that time frame. There were a lot of good freshmen in North Carolina with Vince Carter and Rasheed Wallace and who was it? Antoine Jameson. Was Ed Cota on that team? Like that was a heck of a class right there. But Arizona's got some freshmen that can play.
So, Logan, you played the game, you officiated the game, you coached the game. Is that a T on Dan Hurley?
No. Man, he knew what he was doing, and that official knew what he was doing. It doesn't
matter that he knows.
That was we just won this game. And you're not going to stop me, because that no official in their right mind would call a T. Now, if he were angry, and if that were hey, that official just made a bad call or a questionable call, and he went up to him, but that was hyped up Dan Hurley. That was, I mean, you know how he gets. He's uncontrollable. The guy's a psychopath.
And gets away all the time.
He is a psychopath.
With murder. He gets away what 98% of the other coaches could not.
The only thing, as an official, the only thing that I would have done differently is I would have smiled right back at it. Like, I would have smiled as he was doing it. I guarantee you that official was like, what in the world is this crazy guy doing? Like, what is going on here? But also, as an official, you know time, score, momentum of the game. You know what's happening. You know what's at stake. And that was nothing malicious. That was nothing egregious. That was, this guy just was hyped because he just made the Final Four after coming back from 17 points down. And Duke just handing it to him instead of getting fouled, throwing it away. That's a freshman mistake right there. As good as the freshman class is this year, you can see how all of these teams have made freshman mistakes. Not all of them have
cost you your dreams. Something that 10 years from now you'll still wake up screaming at night.
That is going to hurt. That is going to hurt big time.
No matter what he does for the rest of his life, he's a highlight clip.
That is a Chris Webber timeout with no timeouts left. Youngsters don't know what that is.
So that's true. You might.
Maybe Boozer's going to have to wait about 35 years for people to not remember that. But man,
here's the thing I don't understand, because you said something and it's 100% true. Time, situation,
time, score, momentum.
Thank you. But I hate that with a passion, because if he would have done that in the first half, he'd have been tossed. Just like just like officials won't call a foul on the last play because of time and score and situation, but that would have been a foul in the first half. I don't understand, and they don't call a travel on a last play. They'll let murder happen.
Man, I'll call a travel on a last play. If they travel, they travel. It doesn't matter who it is. But
officials let murder happen.
Dan Hurley isn't going to do that in the first half.
But if he did, they call it, and you know it.
I mean, it depends.
No, it doesn't.
You're probably right. If he did that in the first half for no reason, like, there's no reason to do that. He did that because they just won the game, and they just solidified the trip to the Final Four after being down 17.
I hate conditional rule sets. I hate special players getting special rules. It imbalances the game.
I don't think he's a special coach getting special rules. I think if any coach would have done that, it just happens that no coach will do that except for him. Like, no coach would do that. Now, if you had Billy Gillispie doing that, he's getting tossed for life. Like, he's probably banned from the sport. But that's because of the way he berated the officials starting 20 minutes before the game. Like, that, so you live with your reputation, and the fact that everybody knows Hurley is crazy, but it's a hyped up crazy. It is I'm intense, I'm ready to go, I'm going to run through this brick wall because we want to win this game. We were down 17. We get lucky, and we hit a 3 by a freshman who hadn't played very many minutes with 0.5 seconds left to win the game. There's no official in the history of officiating that would call a technical foul on that.
Special treatment, special favors, special moments.
I don't know. Maybe Pat Adams might have called a T on that.
No, he'd have reviewed it.
And then called it.
He'd have reviewed it for 4 or 5 minutes and said it was inconclusive. That's the best thing about his reviews. They're all inconclusive after 5-6 minutes.
I thought when
he reviews his reviews.
So when I obviously I don't know if they even showed that on TV. I saw it on social media. Katie hands me the phone and says, "Look at what this guy did."
Was that her exact words?
And no, it was.
Yeah, I saw
it
you
was
edit
more.
yourself in live time.
But look at what this guy did. And I'm watching. She goes, watch the entire thing. I'm like, okay. And as soon as he put his forehead on that official's forehead, I just started laughing. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, that wasn't her reaction, was it?
No, she loved it. Like that intensity, that's not just a competitor.
I like fire and stuff too, but there's a certain level of stupidity involved with it.
That's not
that
just
I just
a competitor.
don't understand.
That's a winner.
Oh, geez.
That is a guy who is going to do everything he can, and then when it happens, he makes a statement, and that
everything
was a
he
statement.
can. He talked that freshman into making the dumbest play of his life. He did everything he could. I'm going to give him credit for this. You're right. My bad. I misunderstand the situation.
Absolutely.
He coaxed that miracle three to go into. It's
Look,
all him.
If you would go into his notebook, you would see that's how he drew it up.
Laugh at the freshman until he loses his mind. Have the assistant coach goad him. I bet you can't make that pass. I bet you can't make that pass. Nah.
Oh gosh, that's gonna hurt. That's both sides of the coin. A freshman that shoots a 38-footer with 0.5 seconds left, making a three to win the game, and a freshman that turned it over.
All you had to do is stand still.
To give them the opportunity.
And all Boozer had to do is stand there.
Yeah.
He didn't have to pass. There's no 5-second
Both of them,
violation.
though. Even if I'm forgetting Big Boozer's name.
Big the guy is not happy.
The number 12. Even if that Boozer would have held the ball, but then he gave it back. Even if I forgot who he passed it to, if he would have held the ball,
well, they gave it to their best
and
player.
then they give it to the other Boozer. If he would have held the ball,
just stand there.
Holy cow!
Just stand there. That's the weirdest part. And nobody has any realization. Just stand there. Let him hit you. You're going to the free throw line. It's all good.
What if because of that play, Shire gets all those freshmen to come back for Duke and say, we've got to win it next year. We have NIL money. You're going to get paid more than what you would as a max rookie contract in the league. And then you're going to go and get drafted again anyways.
What world are you living in?
Man, that would be awesome.
No, because if I'm Caden Boozer, I'm getting out of here. I can't put on the Duke uniform again.
You have to.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to NBA.
No, he's a freshman. You make that mistake. It's not. It's something that, yes, it ruined. It ruined your freshman year, most likely. I mean, that's going to be something that you got to live with. But he's going to come back next season, and he's going to redeem himself.
He's going pro. He's out of here. He's going to go play in Greece where there's no media. I have a text message from Chris in Montgomery who said, I would have teed his bleep up too, Lou. That's what Chris in Montgomery says.
Hey, Chris. Calm down, man.
No, go, Chris.
Why would you? That wasn't malicious. He wasn't angry about anything. That was we're going to win this thing.
Before we go to timeout, Logan, we have our Final Four. UConn, Illinois, Zona, Michigan. Who's going to be in the championship game? Who's going to win the championship game?
UConn, Arizona.
UConn, Zona. I know you're right.
Oh, thank you.
I want Illinois, Zona winning. That's what I want.
I wouldn't mind Illinois winning, and I like Underwood's story and the way he's progressed and how long it took him to become a head coach before he got his first coaching, and then he skyrocketed. You know, you go from SFA to Oklahoma State and then to Illinois, and then you build the program and you stay there, and you're there almost a decade, and you finally get it there. I love that story. Dan Hurley's been there. He's built it. He has a dynasty almost. You can almost call it that. And he's got that fire. But I don't mind either of them losing to Arizona, because Arizona's going to win. They're now we've all seen it. Freshmen might make some mistakes. I don't know if there's been a bigger mistake than what the Duke freshman made, but
no.
Freshmen make mistakes, and it's a big stage, but I think Arizona's just they've got they've got the puzzle pieces, man. They're good.
When we return, it's time to talk some Bucky ball. Logan Lee played hoops at A&M, coached A&M Kentucky, and Tuesdays he hangs out with me. Hi, I'm Louie Bellina, inside the Charles Schwab studio. We'll be right back. You're listening. This is The Zone.
Visit the Pod Center at zone1150.com and find every hour of every day of your favorite shows. Download or subscribe.
I'm sorry. Logan's with me. We're going to talk Aggie hoops, but I hear Black Sabbath doing Paranoid, and I'm like, we could just go back and be nothing but rock, y'all. KTSR, the golden days. Logan Lee hangs out with me Tuesdays, and he will for a while more. There's Bucky ball's eternal now. It's too much fun. I don't want to stop talking about it.
Eternal.
I don't want to stop talking about Bucky ball. I'm sorry. It was a great ride and one I don't want to end. And I know he's not going anywhere. Matter of fact, he got a contract extension.
You've got to give him an extra year just to give him some more money. And I think that was, I don't know if that was a proactive move or a proactive / reactive move, because I'm sure there have been some people calling him, but I'm excited about where he is and what he's doing here, and I can't wait to see what I know. We've been without the Bucky ball season for 2 weeks now. I can't wait to see what next season holds. It is going to be a fun ride.
You know what the NIL portal has done for me? And this is basketball and football.
It's ruined athletics. That's not what you're saying? Actually,
no. It's added a whole new season to the seasons. Because when the portal opens, I'm serious when I say this, right? It's like, ooh, who did we get? Ooh, who did we get? See, baseball, especially football, right? But we have a draft. I'm a draft junkie. Like, I love the NFL draft. Part of it is seeing your favorite football players, college. It's the final step of their college career, and I love college football, and then like the Steelers, I can't wait to see who they get and who to root for when I hate the Cowboys, who they took, right? Well, the NIL is weird. It's not a draft, but free agency, and ooh, who did A&M get, right?
Yeah.
So it's added a whole new season as a fan. Well, translate that Bucky ball. When the portal opens, I'm like, oh, who's Bucky? I cannot wait to see who Bucky gets.
I mean, yes.
So, yes, I hate players are free, players are mercenaries now, and there's no more front of the jersey. No. I'm kind of enjoying it in a spectator sport way.
I mean, I don't mind NIL and getting paid. What I mind is the fact that the agents are driving up the prices astronomically year by year. And it's not gonna last. But we could talk that till we're blue in the face. Nothing's
There's
going
no
to change at this
public
point.
information of NIL. I mentioned this yesterday. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but the quick version was The Athletic did a public information of every university P4, and I think all of D1 actually, and the universities wouldn't do it. Some said it fell almost into HIPAA. Like student privacy. One just said, if we do that, we're giving up a competitive advantage. So universities are refusing to share the info. Now, what's this doing is that agents and the players' representatives could say anything they want.
Absolutely.
There is no database. Therefore, the schools are putting themselves at a disadvantage.
Look, I liked it back in the day when you weren't allowed to talk about it, and the agents still bumped it up, but it was like, hey, this school offered X amount. But it was never, this school offered $1.5 million.
But there's no verification because their salaries aren't public, yet they're public employees. You can go find out what the janitor or the professor or anyone at the public school makes, except for the college athlete who actually is getting money now.
I remember back in the day where I knew A&M wasn't getting a guy, and this was probably, I don't know, 2010, 2000, I don't know, somewhere around there. And I knew A&M wasn't getting a guy because Alabama offered him $225,000. And I was like, they're paying almost $250,000 for a basketball player?
Oh, and you're going, wow, that's so much, right? That's what you're saying. Oh.
Like, they're paying a little over that kid's getting $200,000.
And this year, the controversy was over the BYU player. Did he make $7 million or not? That was this past year.
I know.
That was the big money story.
That's the crazy thing is now you're looking at astronomical numbers, and some of which these kids, I hope they stay in college as long as they can, because
make the money.
Because some of them are not going to ever see that money again, like that amount of money in a year. Take advantage of it, but man, it's tough.
With the Bucky contract, and you mentioned it, A, you just want to lock them down. B, show them, you appreciate them. C, there's so many openings right now. But D is something you mentioned right off the bat. He needs a bigger base because it trickles down to his assistants.
Yep.
And maybe the biggest part of the renegotiation is the commitment to NIL.
Absolutely.
Because that comes into that.
Absolutely. And I think A&M showed Bucky last season, hey, we're willing to get behind you. We're willing to make this thing work. And he got enough funds to turn something in from being picked 13th to ending up tied for 4th.
He wouldn't have got M'Baku and Pop if he had nothing.
No, not at all. And if you don't get those two, then I doubt you get anybody else. I mean, I doubt you get anybody. They probably would have snagged a few of the guys on the roster, but man, if you don't get those two to start off, you don't get. I was about to say Fetty. Well, you don't get.
It didn't
Fetty,
work out, but
you don't get Benson. You don't get AG. I doubt you get Ryland or Zach Clements. I mean, you may get them because at the end of the day, if you don't have M'Baku or Pop, you have more money to spend, and so maybe you just money whip some people and you get them. But I mean, the commitment from the A&M supporters, I don't even know what you call them. They're not the NIL guys, the
A&M basketball NIL group,
the NIL fundraisers did a fantastic job of finding support for Bucky, and that's going to continue because we all saw what he did this season in a very limited time frame.
The biggest thing is he'll have more money. Okay. He'll have more time, which started a long time ago, of evaluation of the portal.
Yeah.
Because it's not about, just take the list and recruit off the top of the list. He can now have more time and evaluate everyone in the portal and get the Bucky ball fits.
Well, and he also knows what he has on the team, so he knows what better pieces. I mean,
we had zero.
Last year they were like, get the best players. We'll put them in position and we'll play very fast and we'll score buckets and we'll figure it out. And now it is, hey, we've got a group of kids that we know are coming back that we are going to solidify before the portal even opens. And now that the portal is open, we know that we have these kids and we need these puzzle pieces. Are these the kids that we have? Are some of them are going to be big time contributors? Some of them are going to be parts to the puzzle. We need to go get some guys that can go score on their own, that can make plays. We need to get some big guys. We need to get some taller guys. We need to get whatever it is. But he has that foundation already, so he doesn't have to go and find 15 more players.
We only got like 2 minutes, but I'm going to tell you, you and I think it was all of last week, we had that bigs versus guards conversation.
Guards.
And after watching this NCAA tournament, I'm convinced more than ever a big is the number one priority. Now, they're not going to get 2 to 3, but they've got to get 1, and especially with M'Baku, being the centerpiece.
But it's guards first.
Elite bigs is the theme of this tournament. Get a big. They got to have a big.
But it's guards first.
No.
Why?
One elite big, and then you go get 20 guards.
Tell me an elite big that's in the Final Four right now that doesn't have 2 elite guards. Like
with Bucky ball, you don't need an elite guard. You need about 5 guards, though. And they can go get 5 guards.
But if Bucky has 2 elite guards, it changed. I'm talking about, and when I say elite
big plus M'Baku, and then the 20 guard approach, and Bucky ball will be in the Final Four. Thank you, Logan. Talk to you next Tuesday.
People can hear me pounding on this desk right now.
Talk to you next Tuesday?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Awesome.
See you later.
He was pounding on the desk. That wasn't like special radio sound effects.
Guard play.
That was au natural Logan Lee right there. Thank you, brother.
See ya.
We'll talk again next Tuesday. When we return, I got to wrap up our first hour together. It's the Louie Bellina Show. for better or worse. Presented by CC Electric. They do free estimates. They have military and veteran discounts. They're CC Electric. It's the Louie Bellina Show. Tuesday on the Zone.
Blending Southern culture with college football.
You guys are awesome.
Music, sport commentary, and more. It's Marty and McGee.
Marty and McGee.
Saturday mornings from 6 to 9 on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louie Bellina Show coming up 7 minutes. The return. Legend. Joe Sheehan newsletter. If you're new to Bryan College Station or you're new to the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric. Hi, hello, and welcome. Joe Sheehan, baseball, all things, everything MLB. He eats it, sleeps it, breathes it. He began Baseball Prospectus, then Baseball America, Sports Illustrated. I think there's more. He's done it all in the world of baseball. And then one day he said, I just want to do the voodoo that I do so well. And then he started the Joe Sheehan newsletter. If you love Major League Baseball, I think the Joe Sheehan newsletter is maybe the greatest thing in the world. He charges you for about 1/25th of the work he does. He promises you like one a week. He does like 3-4 a week. He just spits them out and he speaks human. It's not all geek and stat. I mean, it's a ton of analytics and metrics, but he speaks human. Joe Sheehan is back every Tuesday, 12 o'clock on the D4 Land Services hotline. I do want to wrap up. We got a couple of minutes left in our first hour together here on the Louie Bellina Show. I do want to wrap up inside the lifestyles portion. This is kind of crazy cool. Somebody came up with the idea of what is the ideal fast food plate. What is the perfect fast food plate of food? Well, if you wanted to put together the dream team fast food plate, you'd have to make 4 stops. Listen carefully. What is the ideal? I don't agree with it. I would tinker and make a change. But here is allegedly the perfect fast food plate. You'd have to get a Burger King burger, a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, Mickey D's, French fries, and chicken nuggets. And then for the drink, you can have the choice, but you got to go to Dairy Queen for a soda or milkshake. That would be the perfect, the ideal. That was the word ideal. So you'd have to make 4 different fast food stops to have the perfect fast food plate of food. Now, a Dairy Queen milkshake, I'm fine with that. Probably get a Blizzard instead, but that's not a drink, so it's not allowed. I don't eat it anymore, but a Mickey D's 20-piece chicken nugget, you'll never see me say no. Get me some barbecue sauce and some hot mustard, not the honey, hot mustard to dip. So 2 so far, come on. And then a Chick-fil-A, or as I say, Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, that's the best in the business. The Burger King burger, I think, would be up for debate. Call me crazy on this one. But there was a list of favorite fast food burgers, and Burger King was 1. Wendy's was 2. Mickey D's popped up at 3rd. Five Guys was 4. Sonic was 5th. And again, I don't think I'm good with that. I don't think I agree with those rankings of the fast food burger joints. Now, I'm not saying these guys all stink, but best is a strong word for me with these rankings. But 3 out of 4, that seems to be the theme today. That's not bad.